Welcome to our exploration of kindness, a quality often celebrated as the ultimate virtue. However, today we dive into the paradox of kindness. While it is generally seen as a positive trait, excessive kindness can lead to unexpected consequences. Many believe that being kind means always putting others first, but this mindset can sometimes blur the lines between generosity and self-neglect. Imagine someone who never says no, always rushing to help, yet ends up feeling overwhelmed and unappreciated. This scenario illustrates a hidden truth. Kindness, when unchecked, can morph into a burden rather than a blessing. In this video, we will unpack the complexities of kindness, examining how it can sometimes lead to feelings of weakness, disappointment, and even dependency. Join us as we navigate these intricacies and discover how to cultivate a healthier, more balanced approach to kindness, one that honors both your well-being and the needs of others. Kindness, while often celebrated, can sometimes create a misleading perception. When someone is consistently accommodating and willing to help, others may begin to see them as weak or overly dependent. Imagine a colleague who volunteers to take on extra work, always saying yes to every request. Initially, this seems admirable, but over time, colleagues may start to view this individual as someone who cannot stand up for themselves. This perception can lead to being overlooked for promotions or important projects. It's essential to recognize that while kindness is a virtue, it must be balanced with assertiveness. Setting boundaries is not a rejection of kindness. Rather, it's an affirmation of self-respect. By saying no to unreasonable demands, you assert your value without losing your compassionate nature. This balance is vital, as it allows you to maintain your kindness while ensuring that you are not taken for granted. Remember, kindness should empower both yourself and others, not diminish your worth. Setting boundaries is not just an act of self-preservation, it's a powerful assertion of self-worth. Many people mistake kindness for weakness, believing that always saying yes will foster goodwill and strengthen relationships. However, this often leads to a cycle of overcommitment and eventual resentment. When you find yourself constantly accommodating others, it can create an imbalance where your own needs are neglected. It's essential to recognize that saying no does not make you unkind. Rather, it signifies self-respect and clarity in your priorities. To effectively communicate your boundaries while still being kind, consider using I statements. For example, instead of saying "you always need my help," try "I need to prioritize my time right now." This way, you're expressing your needs without putting the other person on the defensive. Remember, healthy relationships thrive on mutual respect. And part of that respect is acknowledging when you need to step back and care for yourself. By setting clear boundaries, you not only protect your own well-being, but also foster healthier interactions with those around you. Setting boundaries isn't just a necessity, it's a powerful act of kindness toward yourself and others. When you communicate your limits clearly, you not only protect your own well-being, but also foster respect in your relationships. Start by practicing assertiveness in small interactions. For instance, if a colleague frequently asks for help during your own busy periods, kindly express that you need to focus on your tasks, but would be happy to assist at another time. This demonstrates both your willingness to help and your commitment to your own responsibilities. Use I statements to express your feelings without blaming others, such as, "I feel overwhelmed when I take on too many requests." This approach is gentle, yet firm, allowing you to maintain kindness without compromising your needs. Remember, setting boundaries is not selfish. It's an essential part of healthy relationships that ensures mutual respect and understanding. By learning to say no when necessary, you create space for the kindness that truly matters, both to yourself and others. In our quest to be kind, we often carry an unspoken expectation that our kindness will be acknowledged and returned. This expectation can lead to a heavy emotional burden. Imagine a scenario where you go out of your way to help a friend who's going through a tough time. You lend your support, your time, and your resources, only to find that your gestures go unnoticed. When your kindness isn't reciprocated, it can leave you feeling unappreciated and disillusioned. This disappointment can erode the joy of giving and transform it into a source of resentment. It's essential to recognize that our happiness should not be contingent on others' reactions. The Stoics teach us that true fulfillment comes from within and not from the validation of others. By detaching our self-worth from the responses of those we help, we can maintain a sense of peace. This perspective not only shields us from disappointment, but also empowers us to give freely, without the weight of expectations holding us back. Remember, kindness is a gift, and like all gifts, its value does not diminish even when it is not acknowledged. One of the key Stoic principles is to not tie your happiness to the actions of others. This mindset encourages emotional resilience and helps manage disappointment. By understanding that you cannot control how others respond to your kindness, you free yourself from the weight of unrealistic expectations. Instead of seeking validation from others for your good deeds, focus on the intrinsic value of kindness itself. Ask yourself, did I act with kindness because I wanted to help, or because I wanted something in return? When you shift your perspective to appreciate the act of kindness for what it is, an expression of your values, you can cultivate a sense of fulfillment independent of external validation. This Stoic approach is not about being indifferent. It's about recognizing that your peace of mind should not be contingent on others' reactions. Embrace this philosophy, and you'll find that disappointment diminishes, allowing you to engage in relationships with a more open heart, free from the burden of expectation. When we think about kindness, we often imagine it as a virtue, a quality that brings people together and fosters positive relationships. However, there's a less discussed aspect of kindness that can lead to significant challenges in our lives: attracting the wrong people. Consider the story of Sarah, a woman known for her endless generosity. She was always the first to offer help, whether it was lending a listening ear or providing financial support. Initially, her kindness drew many people towards her, and her social circle seemed vibrant and fulfilling. But over time, Sarah began to notice a troubling pattern. Many of the friends she had attracted were not there for genuine connection. They were there for what they could take from her. They relied on her kindness, often draining her emotional energy and leaving her feeling exhausted and unappreciated. This scenario isn't unique to Sarah. Many individuals experience the same fate when kindness is given without discernment. It's important to recognize that while kindness is essential, it can sometimes invite individuals who exploit that generosity. Instead of building reciprocal relationships, one can find themselves surrounded by those who are needy and demanding. This can create a toxic environment where your kindness is not only taken for granted, but also manipulated. As a result, you may find yourself feeling overwhelmed, used, and even resentful. To break this cycle, it's crucial to develop an awareness of the people you attract through your kindness. It's about learning to recognize the signs of those who might be taking advantage of your generosity. By doing so, you can protect your energy and well-being, ensuring that your kindness is directed towards those who appreciate it genuinely. In the end, kindness should enrich your life, not deplete it. Recognizing those who drain your energy is crucial for maintaining your well-being. Start by observing patterns in your interactions. If you find yourself consistently feeling exhausted after spending time with certain individuals, it's a sign they may be taking advantage of your kindness. Set clear boundaries by communicating your limits openly. For instance, if a friend frequently asks for favors that disrupt your schedule, kindly express your needs and the importance of your time. This creates space for healthier exchanges. Additionally, practice self-awareness. Assess how you feel before and after interactions. If negativity or fatigue prevails, it's time to reconsider these connections. Remember, prioritizing your well-being is not selfish. It's necessary for sustaining healthy relationships. Surround yourself with those who uplift and inspire you, and don't hesitate to step back from those who drain your energy. By doing so, you not only protect yourself, but also empower those around you to take responsibility for their own needs. Have you ever found yourself pouring your heart and soul into helping others, only to feel like you've lost sight of who you truly are? It's a common experience among those who practice excessive kindness. Imagine a scenario where you're always the one who volunteers to listen to a friend's problems or to lend a helping hand, yet in the process, your own needs become secondary. This can lead to a gradual erosion of your own identity. You may begin to define yourself solely by your ability to assist others, forgetting the passions and interests that once made you unique. This loss of self can be insidious, creeping in as you prioritize others over your own desires and well-being. As you give and give, you might find that your own dreams and aspirations are placed on the back burner. The more you lose yourself in the needs of others, the more you may feel an emptiness inside, struggling to remember what it is that you truly want in life. This personal story reflects a larger truth. Kindness should never come at the cost of self-neglect. It's essential to recognize that while helping others is noble, it's equally important to honor your own needs and aspirations. After all, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Finding the balance between being there for others and taking care of yourself is crucial to maintaining your identity and happiness. In the journey of kindness, it's essential to remember the importance of self-care. When we dedicate ourselves to helping others, we can inadvertently silence our own needs and desires. It's easy to become so wrapped up in supporting those around us that we lose sight of who we truly are. To maintain our own identity, we must prioritize self-care as a non-negotiable part of our lives. This means taking time for ourselves, pursuing our passions, and ensuring our emotional and physical health is not compromised. By practicing self-care, we not only replenish our own energy, but also enhance our ability to help others effectively. Remember, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Embracing self-care allows us to maintain our individuality and sustain our kindness without feeling depleted. Therefore, as we extend our hands to help others, let us also extend compassion to ourselves. By doing so, we empower ourselves to give from a place of abundance rather than obligation, fostering healthier relationships and a more fulfilling life. Let's take a moment to discuss the slippery slope of giving too much. When kindness becomes a constant, a person often finds themselves overwhelmed by commitments, feeling the weight of expectations from those around them. Imagine a scenario where you're always the one to lend a hand, to listen, or to sacrifice your own time for the needs of others. At first, it feels rewarding. It's gratifying to be the person everyone turns to. But as the demands grow, so does the pressure. You may start to feel drained, resentful, and even unappreciated. This emotional fatigue can lead to burnout, where your once generous spirit turns into a sense of obligation. The Stoics remind us of the principle of moderation, emphasizing that even the noblest of acts should not come at the expense of our own well-being. It's vital to recognize that kindness should not be a burden. By understanding our limits, we can practice generosity in a sustainable way, ensuring that our kindness enriches both our lives and the lives of others without leading to exhaustion. Remember, it's okay to prioritize yourself and your needs too. Balance is key. In Stoicism, the concept of moderation is vital, especially when it comes to generosity. Overextending ourselves in giving can lead to a depletion of our own resources and energy, which ultimately affects our ability to help others. It's essential to recognize that kindness does not mean sacrificing our well-being. Instead, we should strive for a balance where our generosity is sustainable. For instance, consider your time and emotional energy as valuable assets. If you give them away indiscriminately, you may find yourself unable to support those you truly care about when they need you most. Therefore, practicing moderation means understanding your limits and setting clear boundaries. This way, your acts of kindness remain genuine and impactful without leading to burnout. By embracing the Stoic principle of moderation, we not only enrich our lives, but also enhance our ability to contribute positively to the lives of others. Remember, it's perfectly okay to put yourself first sometimes. This ensures you can continue to give meaningfully. Practicing moderation in giving is essential for maintaining balance in our lives. It's easy to fall into the trap of overcommitting ourselves, believing that more generosity equals more value. However, this mindset can lead to exhaustion and resentment. First, assess your own limits. Understand that your time and energy are finite resources. One effective strategy is to prioritize your commitments. Reflect on which engagements align with your values and goals. Focus on quality over quantity. For example, if you're involved in multiple volunteer projects, consider dedicating your efforts to one or two that truly resonate with you. This allows you to give more meaningfully without spreading yourself too thin. Additionally, practice saying no when necessary. It's crucial to recognize that declining an invitation or request doesn't make you a bad person. It's an act of self-respect and preservation. Lastly, remember to check in with yourself regularly. Ask if your giving is sustainable and fulfilling. By doing so, you foster a healthier relationship with generosity, ensuring it enriches both your life and the lives of others. When we think about kindness, we often associate it with positive intentions and goodwill. However, an interesting paradox arises. Excessive kindness can breed suspicion among others. People may start questioning your motives, viewing your generosity with skepticism rather than gratitude. For instance, if someone consistently goes above and beyond to help others, those on the receiving end might wonder if there's an underlying agenda. Are you being kind out of genuine concern, or is there something you're trying to gain? This suspicion can create an unintended barrier to forming authentic connections. Instead of fostering trust, your kindness might lead to misunderstandings, making others feel uncomfortable or defensive. They may hesitate to accept your help, fearing it comes with strings attached. This reaction can be disheartening, especially when your intentions are purely altruistic. Recognizing this dynamic is essential for nurturing genuine relationships built on mutual respect and understanding. To counteract skepticism that often arises from excessive kindness, transparency is key. When we engage in acts of kindness, it's essential to communicate our intentions clearly. This means being open about why we're helping someone, which can alleviate doubts about our motives. For example, if you're volunteering for a cause, share your passion for it. This helps others understand your genuine desire to contribute. Additionally, it's crucial to encourage dialogue. When we invite others to share their thoughts and feelings about our actions, we create a space for trust to flourish. Remember, vulnerability can be a powerful tool in building connections. By showing our authentic selves and explaining our motivations, we can break down barriers of suspicion. This transparency not only enhances our relationships, but also reinforces the idea that kindness can thrive in an environment of honesty. In essence, being forthright about our kindness fosters deeper, more meaningful connections with those around us. Kindness, while virtuous, can sometimes lead to unintended consequences, one of which is dependency. When we are overly kind, we may inadvertently create a dynamic where others rely on us for their emotional or practical needs. This dependency can prevent them from developing their own coping skills, problem-solving abilities, or even self-confidence. For instance, think about a scenario where a friend constantly seeks your help for decisions, big or small. Over time, they may become so reliant on your input that they struggle to make choices independently. This not only places a burden on you, but also stunts their personal growth. In Stoicism, we recognize the importance of fostering resilience and self-sufficiency in ourselves and others. Encouraging those around us to take ownership of their challenges is not just an act of kindness, but a way to empower them. It's essential to balance our kindness with the understanding that true support sometimes means stepping back and allowing others to learn and grow from their experiences. Encouraging self-sufficiency in others is a delicate balance to strike, especially when kindness is at play. It's important to remember that our desire to help can sometimes inadvertently foster dependency, making it hard for those we care about to develop their own resilience. To promote independence, we can start by gently guiding them towards solutions, instead of providing immediate answers. Ask questions that encourage critical thinking, helping them to explore their own abilities. For instance, instead of offering to solve a problem for them, you might say, "What do you think would be the best way to approach this situation?" This not only empowers them, but also shows that you believe in their capacity to handle challenges. Additionally, celebrate their small victories and progress, reinforcing their confidence. By doing so, you maintain a kind approach while nurturing their self-sufficiency, ensuring they grow stronger without feeling abandoned. Remember, kindness should uplift, not enable dependency. In relationships, kindness can sometimes tip the scales into one-sidedness. When one person continuously gives without receiving, it can lead to feelings of being undervalued and taken for granted. This often manifests in a dynamic where one partner feels overwhelmed by the emotional labor of the relationship, while the other remains blissfully unaware of the imbalance. Imagine a scenario where one friend always organizes outings and pays for meals, while the other only shows up when it's convenient. Over time, the generous friend may begin to feel resentful, questioning whether their kindness is appreciated or merely exploited. It's crucial to recognize these patterns early. Ask yourself if you often find yourself in these situations. Do you feel drained after interactions? It's important to assess your relationships regularly, ensuring that they are reciprocal. Setting healthy boundaries not only preserves your well-being, but also fosters genuine connections, where kindness is shared and appreciated on both sides. It's essential to take a step back and evaluate the relationships in your life. Are they mutually beneficial, or do they lean heavily in one direction? One-sided relationships can lead to feelings of being undervalued and overlooked. When you give excessively, you might inadvertently create a dynamic where your kindness is taken for granted. This can foster resentment over time, as you may feel like your efforts go unrecognized. To foster healthier connections, it's crucial to set boundaries that protect your emotional well-being. Reflect on who truly appreciates your kindness and who may be draining your energy. A balanced relationship allows both parties to thrive, where kindness flows freely without the fear of exploitation. Remember, it's okay to prioritize your needs and assert your value. By doing so, you not only respect yourself, but also cultivate deeper, more meaningful connections with others. So take a moment to assess your relationships and ensure they are grounded in reciprocity and respect. As we wrap up our exploration of kindness and its potential pitfalls, it's essential to reflect on the balance we must strike. Kindness is undoubtedly a powerful virtue, but when taken to extremes, it can lead to unintended consequences that affect our well-being and relationships. Remember, setting boundaries is not a sign of weakness. Rather, it's a demonstration of self-respect and strength. Each of us has a unique capacity for giving, and understanding our limits is crucial in maintaining our mental and emotional health. Evaluate your relationships and be mindful of how much you give without losing sight of your own needs. This journey towards balance invites us to practice kindness with intention, ensuring that it enriches our lives rather than detracts from them. So take a moment today to reflect on your own experiences with kindness and boundaries. Are you nurturing your spirit while helping others? Let's strive for a kinder world, where kindness serves as a bridge, not a barrier. Together, we can create a fulfilling life that honors both our compassion and our self-worth.